Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar series. We've had a couple of weeks off in between travels, and we're back on. So today, what we wanted to talk about is change. Now, change is an interesting thing, and usually the context that I get asked about is people are doing work, they're developing, they're educating themselves, they're learning a lot of new things, whether it's some academic work they're doing, whether it's a weekend workshop, whether it's an ongoing training or private one-on-one coaching, or whether it's a extended period of study, whether it's a year, 2 years, or 3 years. And the constant question we get and that I get asked is, look, I had this massive change. I had this great insight. I learned this phenomenal stuff. How come I've taken a step back? What's happened? I feel like things aren't working for me. And it's really, really quite an interesting thing that we do and don't always realize, that we try and normalize our behavior or our thoughts or our experiences to a previous baseline, a previous point of reference. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is how do we take our education, how do we apply it in a daily manner which keeps us moving forward, and most importantly, helps us to understand the changes we're making and how they're contributing to the wellness of our life, either remediating points of pain or creating more abundance and expansion. So let me give you an example. Let's assume that you've done an event or a series of events and you've got some new insight on a way of thought or an emotional state or some behavior or some symptoms that you're experiencing in life, and you're starting to understand, hang on a moment, instead of analyzing it and making it about why, I'm really getting an insight as to what the true cause of this is. So we might think, yippee, I've had this insight, I've had this phenomenal experience or learning, and all of a sudden things should automatically be different. Well, we've all read about and heard about brilliant quotes where, particularly one guy I'm thinking of, Einstein, was talking about repeating the same behavior and expecting a different result. So of course, this is something that we should stick to in our own mind and our own everyday lives. With this new insight, with this new education, with this new sense of being inside myself, what am I going to do differently that's going to support this new space, rather than just falling back into my everyday behaviors, my everyday activities, and just assume that things should be better or should be aligned to what I've learned. So a classic scenario of this is, many of us have done corporate programs and we've got a fantastic manual. We take it away and go, that was terrific. We put it on our shelf, and a year later it's sitting on the shelf. There's been no significant implementation of what we've learned. There's been no incorporation into our thoughts and our actions, and therefore our outcomes from something that we found to be valuable. Well, in our personal life, it's exactly the same. So what I would say to you is, when we create disruption, whether it's inside ourselves or in our environment, and that disruption is about change, it's to break up the status quo, to free up space and energy, and understand how to create opportunity and options from that space, inside or outside. So if we're creating options, we're creating more choice, then how do we activate every day that choice? And it's got to be at every level. So for example, if you've had a spiritual breakthrough, fantastic. How do you apply that every day so that the benefits of that insight can be embodied into your everyday life? How can you take that wonderful connection and what expansion you've created and make it more available to yourself in what you do? Same goes for any intellectual or academic knowledge. It's great to have it, but how do we find application for it? What activities can you do regularly that keep it fresh in our mind, but at the same time allow us to apply it to whatever field of study or field of endeavor that we're working in? At an emotional level, it's the same thing. So I've had a big emotional breakthrough. I've had a big insight. I've re-engineered, if you like, an emotional history inside myself. Now that's going to mean that there's times where I'm going to behave in a familiar behavior or a similar pattern. And that pattern was tied back to the previous reality I had. So now that comes back. And if I allow myself to continue that, then I'll automatically recreate the old reality. What's important is that I set up a new behavior anytime I see some of those old symptoms that led into the pattern I had. And I go, hang on a moment. Ooh, this is what I used to do. Hang on a moment. Ooh, I've got to catch that. How can I intervene and create a hack that's going to make sure that the learnings I've had are more available to me today? And it's just like going to the gym. How can I exercise and maintain and build my fitness? So these are new skills, new realities I've created. How do I really anchor them in and allow myself to grow and mature and get super fit with that new reality? That's the emotional. And of course, the physical, we started talking about just then there when we were training and we're doing physical work. How do we keep developing that in a way that we maintain and grow our capability? And of course, our energy system is similar. So if we're mobilizing energy, if we're building up a capacity, it's not an event, it is a journey. So what are the things you're doing which are maintaining that event that you participated in or that you got an awakening in? So these things are really, really important because often many of us do not set in place new habits and new behaviors that are related to our new space or our new learning. And in that way, we're not able to really utilize the opportunity that we created for ourselves, for this education, for this new information. So what I implore you all is you're taking a lot of time and spending a great deal of effort and money on your education. Please extend that to understanding how it impacts on you and applying it in your lives in a way where you can truly get the benefit of the hard work and effort you're putting in. Thank you everyone for listening in. Hopefully that's been of value to you. See you soon.